Goddamn, it's cold in Texas. I walked outside and I said, whoa, it's cold in Texas. I was supposed to be recording this earlier, but I was playing Smash Bros. And I had to defeat Mr. Hand. And no, that's not a play on words for masturbating. That is an actual character. On Smash Bros, I had to beat him to get the Golem or Golem, however you pronounce his name. So I'm doing that next, running through the whole motherfucking game with my guy Kirby. Yeah, I've been a fucking nerd lately. I know way too much about Smash Bros, and I know way too much about all the different types of attacks you could do with Kirby. Man, a lot to talk about. So should I walk some stuff back? I guess I should walk some stuff back. The video came out of David DePape and Paul Pelosi. The reporting was correct. Paul was in his underwear. David DePape was not. They did release video of David DePape breaking inside of the house, and I don't know. I like to think that this podcast that absolutely nobody listens to is what made them release the tape. Cause if you listen to the one I put out, I'm not sure how long ago, I brought up the fact that, a couple of the news stations were putting on they were trying to do something in order to get the video files released. They did. I was under the assumption that Paul Pelosi and David DePape were gay lovers. Still not totally convinced that they're not. But not as convinced as I was. So I need to walk that back. Paul wasn't in his underwear. David was. I'm assuming David wanted Paul to get in his underwear, but Paul was on some G shit. He was on top shit. He was going to be the top in this situation. David DePape more than likely wanted to be the top, and that's what made him hit him over the head with the hammer right in front of the cop too. So he hits him clean over the fucking head with the hammer, right in front of the cop. And the only thing I could think about whenever I watched that was, I watched one video where the guy was like, it's bad. It's, that's a however old, Paul Pelosi is, old man. I mean, to get hit in the head over the head with the hammer, to him, it was sad. To me, the first thing I thought about was, damn, how much fucking bad karma does that guy have out there, in order to get his shit broken in at that old of an age and then get smacked upside the head, with the motherfucking hammer. If you ask me, that was just his, that was just his karma coming back at him. And, who knows? Maybe he has more in store. The show I was talking about last episode with the, multiracial girl that had nothing to do with the show. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it right now. It's from The Last of Us. And The Last of Us is a game that I wanted to play back when I had my PS4. But I ended up giving it to my son. And again, I just recently, over the past couple of months, have just got back in to playing video games, fucking hard. So the show is The Last of Us. On that game, the dude's daughter was not as interracial as they made, or biracial. I'm thinking of porn. Not as biracial as the show made it seem. And then the show did something in episode 3, that you could kind of see coming. And as it was building up, you were kind of like, no fucking way. No way. It just kind of give you this weird feeling, but they turned Ron Swanson gay in The Last of Us. Ron Swanson from Parks and Recs, they turned him gay. And from everything I know about The Last of Us game, the guy whose character, who he's based off of on the TV show, is in the game, but he's not gay. And it was super uncomfortable because you could kind of see where it was going. Yeah, they were in the fucking bed together. It wasn't graphic or anything. They just turned them gay for no reason. So I guess shows are still doing that. TV shows are still doing that. But it turned out to be a kind of a nice little love story in the end. And I couldn't bring myself to cry to gay love. But towards the end, I did feel a moment. Again, I have admitted that I am a crier in TV shows and movies. Was kind of close on this one, but I don't think I could cry to gay love. And, and I have no qualms with gay love. I love love. But I couldn't, cause they were like two regular dudes. Now, if it was like maybe like a dude and like a twink, like one of the, like a guy that was like more feminine, but these were both like alpha bros. And you can't cry with alpha bros. But they made it gay. And I actually wanted to watch that TV show, with my daughter and my son, just because it's based off of a game, and, they liked I Am Legend, so I figured they kind of like this show. But after the gay love, I don't know. I'm just not going to show it to him now. And I have no problem with gay love. Your body, your choice. Again, if you're a man and you're gay, your body, your choice. If you're a woman and you're gay, your body, your choice, unless you have a baby. I came across this headline. Again, I feel like I have to preface everything I say. I just read a headline, and if I'm interested in something, I'll open up and I'll dive into it. But if it's just a headline, I just think it's funny, and I think it's funny. I laugh at it, and then I pass it on, through this. And again, you guys, none of this should be taken serious. But I, came across the headline where Elton John, or where, Trump referred to, Kim Jong-un, I believe is his name, the North Korea dictator, as a little rocket man. and Trump had to kind of explain that it was a reference to a Little John song. So I picked fucking that's fucking hilarious. Hey, what's up, Little Rocket Man? Cause you know he was taking shots at him. But then, hey, Kim Jong-un, he don't play that shit. So, he made Trump walk it back. And so for Trump to have to rock it back and be like, no, it's an Elton John song. And I hope he didn't tell him that Elton John was gay. If once Kim Jong-un finds out that Elton John was gay, and he referred to him as that, oh my God. But yeah, I was dying laughing. That's like, that would be my dream thing, to, you be able to get in the ear of a dictator, pause. But, being able to be in the same room as a dictator and just roasting them, just roasting them from the get-go. And especially Kim Jong-un. I mean, he would be such an easy roast. Yeah, I probably would have did the exact same thing Trump did if I was, which is why I should never be in a position of power. But if I was and I was in that room, yeah, I would have had jokes for him too. Like, come on, bro. Like, I want to be doing these more often, but it's, with no feedback, like in real time, with no feedback in real time, and I'm talking, I don't know if this, I can only imagine that this shit sounds like a man who has lost everything, who's lost, just speaking into his phone, into the void. Yeah, I couldn't, man. Yeah, I feel sorry for whoever comes across this, because it just sounds midway through these things. Sometimes whenever I get high, I get like super, super, super introspective. And, like as I'm talking in my mind, I'm just like, oh, you're so fucking gay. This sounds like shit. This sounds like shit. This sounds like shit. And I almost get into like a negative thought loop. But in real time, I just fought that shit off, trying to make my mind a mental trap, not giving in to all the negativity. The WWE Royal Rumble happened, was it last Sunday, I believe? And as much as I love watching like the old highlights, and as much as I like the storyline, like I am super intrigued with the Bloodline storyline, with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and all of them. It's actually funny. I met the Usos before. They were really cool. I met them at Metroflex, in Arlington, years and years back. Yeah, so it's cool, seeing them from where they were to where they are now, and like how they're super involved in the story. But having said all that, some of the wrestling itself, it's where, is now where it's, where I'm having a hard time, like delving into it. The wrestling itself is making me not able to watch the whole show. And I don't know, because I mean, obviously the shit that they do, it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like the shit that they do is athletic as fuck, but when it's scripted, when I mean, I'm sure some of the moves they do and shit, like they like actually do hurt themselves and shit. Well, when it's choreographed, it's, I don't know. That's where as I was trying to watch, cause I found a free stream of the Royal Rumble. And so as I was trying to watch it, it was just, the wrestling is what makes it gay. Like the storyline, it's the wrestling itself that makes it gay. And I don't know if that's more gayer about me, that I'm more intrigued with the storyline, even though I know it's, you know what I mean? But yeah, fucking Logan Paul, him and, this dude, Ricochet, they did a pretty tight spot where they both jumped from the end of the ring to the end of the ring off the ropes and just smacked into each other. So, they felt that shit. That was tight. But, when it's like an actual, 15 or 20 minute match and you're like, all right, it's 18 minutes of some of the shit is cool, but most of the time it's 18 minutes of just dumb, gay wrestling, to the last 2 minutes when the shit gets going. That's, so it's actually funny. There wouldn't be, mixed martial arts without the world of fake wrestling. So this shit goes back all the way to the Carney days. That's where Pride FC, which was, I think it was before, it might have been after, no, I think it might have been before UFC, but a lot of Pride FC fights, that's where where Shogun Rua, Vanderlei Silva, I think Rampage Jackson fought there before he fought in the UFC. Pride had a lot of people, real martial artists come out of it, but Pride also had a lot of fake bouts, and it wasn't just Pride. It was a lot of MMA promotions before the UFC, before the Gracies and UFC came along, that made it, that took the choreographs of MMA, because that's where, I don't know if you guys know what catch as catch can. It's a type of wrestling. But real wrestling, like where you're able to do submission. It's a form of grappling, but real grappling. So you're able to do like all sorts of neck cranks, and you could tap motherfuckers out. And so you'll see a lot of catch can, grappling style in actual, fake wrestling itself, like WWE, AEW. So you'll see that style, when they're doing different type of grappling exchanges. But yeah, so MMA started off a lot of because a lot of it was building stars. They thought that, in order to sell tickets, you had to have a star, and the star needed to be undefeated. And it's funny because it's in that way in boxing, but in MMA, people recognize losses happen because you're dealing with a multitude of different styles. You could have a guy that's a killer on the feet, like Rotang in Muay Thai. I don't know if I've talked about this before. I feel like I have. Maybe I haven't. But you put Rotang, who's a pure Muay Thai guy, in there with Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who is he's an overall guy. And when they fought in one championship, they fought, it was pretty tight because they did one round was Muay Thai and the other round was MMA. The third round was Muay Thai. And in the first round, Rotang, came out like a fucking destroyer, just, marched, Mighty Mouse down. And Mighty Mouse, to his credit, survived. And the start of the second round, Rotang, he doesn't even pass the midway point in the center of the cage. And, Mighty Mouse starts walking him down and eventually gets the takedown. And, it just proves the show, you know what I mean? The threat of getting taken down. And I don't understand how people just, I defend takedowns, like as a workout. I just practice sprawling, as a way to start warming up before my workout. I'll practice sprawling, and I'm simulating like somebody's, on the mats if we're rolling. Like I'm acting like somebody, I'm visualizing somebody shooting a double on me, or even trying to get a single leg on me. And, so I practice. I don't understand. I don't know. That's a whole different, it's a whole different story. You know what I mean? But yeah, I practice sprawling like there's no tomorrow. And I have, the only type of fights I'm ever going to get into, are only going to be on the mats at jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? But still, I don't understand how people don't train that more, especially in MMA. Because you don't even have to defend you don't have to work. Again, off topic. But yeah, Royal Rumble happened. I fell asleep during it because as I was watching the actual wrestling itself, I was like, it's so gay with the stuff. But so anyways, I wake up in the middle of the night and I check all I cared about was the main event, the Bloodline storyline, Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. And, Man, I woke up, I think I woke up in the middle of the night, like around 3 a.m., got high as hell, and I watched like I watched the whole match with Roman Reigns and against Kevin Owens, but everybody only cared about the end, and man, that extra 5 minutes, the ending 5 minutes, Sami Reigns hits fucking Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn hit Roman in the back with a steel chair. And now I can't wait till tomorrow, Friday, for SmackDown to kind of figure out what happens. But yeah, it's been, the storyline has been great. I'm trying to convince myself to be able to get past the fake wrestling aspect. It's weird. I only watch like segments where the people are talking. Which makes me even gayer. I'm only tuning in to watch wrestling for the segments to where they're talking. Just show you how fucking retarded I am. For fuck's sake. I've been playing a lot of fucking, I've been playing Gears of War. And when I play Gears of War, for some reason, it makes me want to drink Mountain Dew. And, I remember I almost was a Dew head. I almost fell into the Dew trap. When I was working at an oil and gas company, at their warehouse, and, this one dude was like, I'm gonna drink a Mountain. He said he was tired. He was like, I'm gonna drink a Mountain Dew. And, he was like, that shit'll get me, he was like, that shit'll get me wired. And I was like, what? I was like, a Mountain Dew. Cause I never drank Mountain Dew before. I'm a big Sprite guy, and that's about it. I used to like orange soda to fulfill the stereotype. But Sprite has always been my, that'll be like, when I do decide to drink soda, that's the only soda, I'll get. But anyways, when I was working at this oil and gas company, dude told me about Mountain Dew. And at that point, I was trying to do anything to get a fucking buzz, cause we were working 12-hour shifts. It was it was actually, I wish I never left that job, cause it was pretty tight. Cause I only worked the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was 12-hour shifts. And they gave you the extra 4 hours to get your 40 hours. So it was full time without it being full time. And I only worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And, back then I was just staying home with my daughter, during the week, during the daytime. And oh my God, that shit used to be, I have old videos that I watch, and I'll tear up, cause just the fucking time is gone, where I'm with my daughter. And, she'd be like, okay, I'm going to Target. She was like, do you want anything? And I'm like, yeah, give me a pack of t-shirt. I'm tearing up thinking about it right now. But yeah, so, dude told me about Mountain Dew. I got one, and I think I drank it, got wired. I did not know that's what Mountain Dew did to people. And it's crazy, because the people that I knew when I was in when I was in school and shit, the people that I knew, drank Mountain Dew, it all made sense, because they were extra wiry as well. And so, I was so out of tune that I couldn't put two and two together. But as I start, looking back on it now, it makes sense as to why those kids were the way they were, because they were Dew heads from the get-go. They were doing the Dew. And when I did the Dew, I think I might have drank a Mountain Dew from the first time I had one, probably until I left that job, every day. Those shits were so fucking addicting. And when I play Gears of War, it makes me want to, cause that's the first time I ever played Gears of War, was when I was working at that job, and I had my 360, my Xbox 360. I never finished it. So yeah, I've been playing, and it's been making me want to drink fucking Mountain Dew. I'm resisting the urge to do the Dew, cause I think that's retardation, final straw right there for me. I'm already watching fucking wrestling. I'm already fucking back into playing video games. I fucking, I delve back into doing the do. Next thing I'm already fucking watching speed running, world records. Fucking sick as hell. Hitman speed running world records are sick as hell. I've been watching, Mario Kart 8, how they do their, track time world records. So I'm already one step, I'm one little centimeter away from fucking going full into fucking retardation mode. And drinking Mountain Dew, I think puts me there. And, I have 2 kids. I have to stay out of that. Yeah, I'm scared if I drink a fucking Mountain Dew within the next 2 years, I'm under the bridge fighting homeless people for YouTube likes. I watched, Jordan Peterson. He went on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he did not shut the fuck up, like, at all. That dude could fucking talk. I wish for the sake of this that I was able to do that, where he was pretty much just carrying. See, that's why I need somebody like on the side of me, just so I can be bouncing shit off of in real time, seeing their reaction, and then talking from there. But because that's all he was doing. He went on Joe Rogan's podcast and acted like it was his podcast, and that motherfucker talked for he probably was on some speed or some shit. Whatever it is, I need to get on that shit. Cause when I get way too high, and, the thoughts in my head are, hey, no, bro, nobody wants to hear this shit. This sounds like shit. And I'm like trying to fight that as I'm talking. And yeah.